Okay, keeping up with the animation bit, yes, I did get raked over the coals for saying that Lion-O could defeat He-Man. I read lots of different fanfics. Initially, my first thought was, man, He-Man would totally own this. But then as I kind of went through it more, I was kind of like, you know, Lion-O does have a lot more intangibles. And of course, I have read in the comics where they put He-Man at the same level as Superman. I have read through some of those. And I have read a tremendous amount of fanfics that normally end with the two of them in the heated throes of passion. But anyways, this week, Orange Cats. Heathcliff, the 1973 created character. Spent a lot of time roughhousing. I always thought if you were to do this in like live action, think Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci kind of comedic as Heathcliff. Just boom. Garfield, the 1979 created character who actually is a lot more popular. I picture Garfield in live action, think of that being like Jack Black. If Jack Black would be a little bit lazier. So, the way I tend to do these fights, since I can't use like energy projection, because they don't shoot lasers, and really can't use versatility that much because the way they're written in the cartoons and how they're written basically in comics, they're not designed to be more action orientated. So my variables are intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, vulnerability, and X factor. Now, so this is the smaller, it's only 7. If it's 4 to 3 person, 4 more than likely will win, but you could make a case of the person with 3 actually winning. So here we go. Intelligence. Both these cats actually can talk. I'm actually going to give the edge to Garfield, probably because he seems to have much more of a philosophical edge, a little more cynicism to him, which you actually see in Heathcliff. Fighting ability. You know, beyond a real swift kick to Odie, and occasionally to Nermal, and swatting at spiders with a newspaper, not a lot of fighting from Garfield. Heath, on the other hand, very, very often got into what we used to call the fight cloud, because you'd see him get into a little scuffle, and it's just like the fight cloud of all the different like body parts flying through it, because it was difficult back in the day to really truly animate a fight sequence. Yes, so if you're a fan of Family Guy, back in the day, half of it would have been the fight cloud with like the arms and feet flying out instead of the actual choreographed fight sequences. Strength. Garfield would complain of how hard to lift his head up, where Heathcliff was constantly on the move, constantly doing actual physical activities. Speed. Again, this goes to Heathcliff. He actually spent a lot more time out maneuvering, whether it was stealing fish, as opposed to Garfield, who would love to just stay his time inside his box and be fed lasagna. Durability. How much abuse do I picture these characters taking? How well can I see them weathering a storm? I'm actually going to swing to Garfield. A lot of things has to do more with the overall longevity of the character and the amount of overall abuse the character has taken. A cat is not designed intestinally to handle something like lasagna. The high amounts of dough, the high amounts of gluten, high amounts of acid, as well as the high amount of dairy, is going to do a tremendous job on a cat's overall intestinal tract. And Garfield survived that for a very, very long time. Not to mention psychological torture, if and be around normal. So I will give a durability edge actually to Garfield. And vulnerability. How well are these guys when it comes to taking overall damage? And I'm going to swing to Heathcliff. He's taken a lot more physical abuse because he's getting a lot more combat. So you already tell Heathcliff is going to win this. So now we're coming down to the X factor. That's that one last intangible piece. And this I'm also going to give this one to Heathcliff. And a lot of it's going to be probably more based upon the overall diet of Heathcliff. You have a cat that has a higher amount of physical activity that has a predominantly fish-based diet, versus an animal that has very, very little physical activity and predominantly an Italian-based diet, not Mediterranean in nature. So I think if you were to have a confrontation between Heathcliff and Garfield, the original Orange Cat will defeat the much more popular, philosophically based Orange Cat.